morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good early morning for some participants. I hope you can hear. Yeah, morning. I hope you can hear my voice now. So, how was the training so far? Too boring? Online? By the way, no choice. We try our best to make it nice. So afternoon again, as I told you that we try to make it not boring, then it will be like a country report. And so far, I think some of you go back to repeat or review some recorded video. So any problem so far, you can reflect to me now, if you would like to. Yes or no? No. How is COVID situation in your country? In Thailand, it's not good. By the way, some of you, or maybe all of you, get some vaccine. You get it? So today in the Faculty of Environmental Management, the staff, they are going to receive the injection or the vaccine from PSU, from Prince of Songkla University. If I'm not wrong, they get the AstraZeneca. There might be some side effect for young people, but like my parents, no effect for that. Okay. We just talk. I'm talking about the staff who record the video that for some family, the student in Thailand now they study online, and if the parent works for the whole day as well, then the student has to stay with the granddad or grandmom for the online course or online class for their school, and it might be some problem also, not so easy, but we have to go on. You want to share some situation in your country about COVID-19? If not, I will go to the country report. พี่แอนวันนี้คิวใน country report. So sorry, I speak in Thai. I asked my staff to turn on the folder to see the queue of the country report. Or you know already who will do it today for the country report? Today is 12. We have Marcelo, Mohammed Said, Mahmoud, Mohammed Salem. We have Morsi, Hosni, Ali, Abu B. And the last one is Meseret Melkamu, Kelbesa. Maybe we start in order. Marcelo, are you in the system now?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Okay. Are you ready for the country report?
Yeah. I made my presentation. I hope it's okay
Great.
for you.
Great. You can share your slide and start your country report, please.
Okay, I will share.
Please let me know if you can see the slides.
Yes, I can see.
Okay, great. So I will start as soon as you just let me.
Okay, you can start now.
Okay, thank you very much. So hello everyone again. I think most of us, we were in the last session as well from Solar PV, and we were also talking about something related about my country as well. I shared some info before, but anyway, I will try to do it short, and in order to have some time for questions if you have. So basically, again, my name is Marcelo Calispa. I'm from Ecuador. Ecuador is a country from South America, and I will give you some info about in general about my country, about the languages, about the where it's located, about the climate, about food, even some info about food as well. And I hope you find it interesting as well. So let us start like where Ecuador is located. So it's a country in the northwestern South America. It's surrounded by Colombia on the north, Peru on the east, and on the south as well. And to the west is the Pacific Ocean. And Ecuador also includes the Galapagos Island. I think probably this is some info well known around the world, because the Galapagos Island, it's famous for Charles Darwin. I think most of us have heard about this. It's about 1,000 kilometers from the land, the Galapagos Island, and the capital and the largest city is Quito. And as you probably know, Spanish is the official language here, but we also have more languages as well, like native languages. And probably the more popular or the more common are Quechua and Shuar. If you ask me, I don't speak any of these other, because they are just for native people. But that I would say that that probably is the most important thing related with the language here. And Ecuador has a total area of 2,083 kilometers square, and including the Galapagos Island. And Ecuador, compared to the other countries in South America, it's bigger than Uruguay, Suriname, Guyana, and French Guyana in all this continent. I think we have also one friend that is from Guyana, and he's also in this training. But in general, my country has 3 regions, including the Galapagos Island. I would say they are 4 actually. And the first one I will talk about a little bit is the coast, or La Costa, as we know, is the coastal region and consists of some provinces from here. And it's the country most fertilized, productive land. I mean, probably the most famous products from Ecuador are from the coast. Probably the plantain. We export a lot of plantain, and also a lot of fish, and to other countries. I think that is probably the main activity in the agriculture activity in Ecuador. And the region is also where most Ecuadorian produce rice as well from all the population here in Ecuador. And the biggest or the largest coastal city is Guayaquil. It's the second largest city in Ecuador. And we have also the highlands. It's another region from Ecuador. And this is well known because we have glaciers as well in this region. I will talk a little bit more about this in the following slides, because there is a big concern about these glaciers because of the global warming, and we are trying to study as well what will happen with these glaciers, because we obtain most of our drinkable water from these glaciers. I will mention it before, after in the slides as well. And in the main products from the highlands are potato, maize, and quinoa. Probably also you hear about these products as well. And as I mentioned before, the largest city is Quito, is the capital from my country. And we also have the Amazon region, and also well known because this Amazon, it has a lot of jungle and untouchable zones. And but the problem here in the Amazon region is we also have oil, that petroleum, and probably most of these places are being exploited because of this, of petroleum, by many international companies and also companies from the government. So this region is now in danger because it has a lot of fauna and a lot of animals are being in danger because of this petroleum exploitation. So, and I think that is related with the regions, and also we have the Galapagos Island, which I mentioned before. About the climate, as you know, if it depends a lot of which region we are. For example, if we're in the coast, it's kind of hot. If we are in the highlands, it will be it will be cold. And in the Amazon region, it will be a lot of humidity as well. So basically, in general, I would say that the temperature will be around 15 to 19 degrees all the year. And the other thing, and the other important thing I would mention, is that in Ecuador, as you know, we are in the middle of the planet, and we will have 12 hours of light during all the year. So we have around 12 hours of light and 12 hours of night. So basically we have half day, half night. So I think it's something interesting. Most of the people we are considered as mestizo. It's a mixture of between American and white. And we also have some black people, some white people, mulatto and Afro-Ecuadorians as well. So it's actually a big mixture of a lot of ethnic groups as well. And related with food, probably the most attractive thing in here is because we have a lot of mixture of food from every single region. And I will also would like to mention the people that we live here. It depends of the region. It depends of also what we are wearing as well, because in the coast they will dress really light clothes, and in the highlands, because of the cold, we wear also another kind of clothes. So I will just jump into the energy relation, how this kind of energy we produce here in Ecuador. Sorry, and Ecuador's power space has long been dominated by the hydropower and oil-based generation. Because we are a country that we produce, we exploit a lot of petroleum, that most of the energy what we produce and we consume is based on oil. So basically, that has been in the last probably 20 years. And even though Ecuador is an exporter of crude oil, historically the country has depended on the import of petroleum derivatives. You know, we export petroleum and we import some kind of the derivatives, and with a growing demand and insufficient refineries to cover it. So we are trying to change also this, because we don't want to depend on other countries to change or to process this oil. But it's been a little complicated because we need a lot of investment from the government. Before that, I would like to share a video if it's okay.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so let me know if the audio is also shared.
Okay.
Can you hear the audio?
Yes, but not so smooth.
Okay, I will just reproduce again. I hope it works.
Without sound, right?
Sorry?
Is there some sound or the music or backing track of that, or some explanation?
So, no, just music.
Okay.
Marcella, there's no audio.
Oh, sorry, you cannot hear the audio, it's just music. I don't know if it's something wrong with that.
Maybe you explain along the picture, along the photo or the movie.
Okay, so I think we can just stop it here because it's just kind of a summary of what we have in the regions, all the regions in Ecuador, but I already explained you about this, about the 4 regions that we have and probably the landscapes I wanted to show you. But I think we already start talking about energy, and probably we just need to continue talking about that, if that's okay. Okay, so anyway, I think I wanted also to start talking about the primary energy production of the country. And as you said, the main or the biggest production or the biggest primary production is based on oil. And we produce actually more than what we need. The demand of the energy it's below the production, but probably the biggest problem here is that only the 8.7% is from renewable energies, and including hydropower, including bioenergy and wind, and also solar and biogas. So as you see, like this percentage is really low. So we need to improve that on the based on the primary energy production. And talking about this in the line of this, renewable energies from wind, photovoltaics, and biogas had increased from 4.2 in the 2018 and compared to the 2019. So it's increasing, but the point is it's not relevant compared to the oil production. So the government is starting to implement this kind of economics incentives in order to increase this production. But as you see, it's not enough. We need to try to change this. And talking in percentages, we can see like the biggest one is it's with 86%, almost 87% is from oil or from petroleum. Sorry about these tables that are in Spanish, but I found information from the Ministry of the Energy here in Ecuador, and they only have this information in Spanish. So anyway, I will try to translate you and try to explain in a better way. And also talking about as I mentioned before, the primary energy production and demand, you can see like the first line is the production, and the second line it's the how is the demand of the country. So we produce more actually, but we need to transform the primary energy, and we are not doing very well in this matter. So as you see, like basically we produce a lot of oil and natural gas. We have a lot of oil and natural gas, but we primarily export this energy. We don't use it here in the country. We just send it to another country in order to transform this energy in another kind of energy. And as you see, probably the most important thing that I wanted to mention is the government, the public companies are in charge of the exploitation of this oil, and a small percentage is also in the private companies as well. International companies, for example, you probably hear about the Schlumberger or Halliburton. These companies are also here in Ecuador in in this oil production. Besides, probably the biggest renewable energy used here is to produce electricity is hydropower, produced by hydropower plants. The government invested a lot of money in these power plants because we have also this resource available all the time during all the year. And the electricity produced and used in Ecuador comes from the hydropower on around probably the 80% of the 89% of the electricity comes from hydropower plants, and just a small portion of the electricity that we use comes from other sources like biomass, biogas, wind power, and solar PV. So it's really small compared with hydropower. But you know, it's still an renewable energy, so it's good that we produce energy, electrical energy, from hydropower plants. So it has been increasing, you know, from the last probably 10 years. The hydropower, a lot of plants were built, and this electricity also increased a lot, actually, from 2009 to 2019. So it's around 10 years. And from renewable energies, you can see like the amount is really small, but probably the biggest is it's wind energy. It's the translation of eolica, it's wind, solar, and this is biomass. So basically we don't have a lot of other renewable energies, such as geothermal, for example. We don't have this energy also. And besides, we have a lot of this resource available as well, because we are surrounded by volcanoes as well. So actually we can use geothermal. The potential of the geothermal energy, it's huge as well here in Ecuador. So, and I mentioned it also in this meeting that we had in the solar PV in the previous session, that since we are in the middle of the equatorial line, we have a lot of radiation also, and 12 hours of sun every day, but we don't use solar PV. So actually that is something we are not using. And I will also, finally, related with this, I will mention that the energy demand by sector, as you see, the trend is the same in other countries, developing countries, and the biggest is the usage in transport. Around 50% of the energy it's used in the transport sector. So basically we have to change that in order to use more sustainable way to use the energy and producing energy. And the next one is industry, which it's also trying to change to renewable energies, but it will take some time in order to just change the way that we use the energy. I will also like to mention some SDG indicators that we also had in the previous session, and probably the most important one, that we were able to reduce the poverty here in Ecuador until 3% in 2018, which I think is really good. In order with the population here, it's something good. And also related with the access to electricity, in 2018, 97.1% of all the population in Ecuador had access to the electricity. We will try to increase also that, implementing probably more hydropower plants or renewable energies until the 100% in the coming years. Related with clean water and sanitation, we also have been increasing. In 2017, 75.1% of the population use a safely managed drinkable water, so which is also good. We are increasing also in these indicators. And finally, I I want to mention the CO2 emissions as well that we have. I think we increased a lot actually from 1917 and 2019. It's the increment of these emissions are really high, and we need to implement a lot of we need to take action about it. But nowadays the government is not really interested in global warming here, unfortunately, but I hope this will change in the future. And the final part I would like to mention is that previously I mentioned that we are really concerned about the glaciers in the highlands, because lots of city, especially the main city, the capital city, depends a lot on the water from these glaciers. And if we are not studying in the right way these glaciers, in the future, probably in the coming 15 to 20 years, a lot of cities will not have water for the citizens, which is really important now in the studies that we are doing. But unfortunately, we are not able to do a lot, because global warming is not something that we can change in each country. It depends also a lot on the big countries like USA or China. But we will try to do some research as well in order to just mitigate this, and we will try to find another kind of source of water. And I would like to mention some of my expertise, some of my area where I've been working. And as I mentioned, I am currently teaching an undergraduate students in one of the universities here in Ecuador. But my background is mechanical engineering, and also I have a master's degree in mechanical and system engineering from the University of Newcastle in the UK, but also a master's degree in mathematics. So I've been working in biogas production from anaerobic digestion, and also modeling energy generation using software simulation. And in the university, I'm teaching mathematics and fluid mechanics, which I am trying to relate my background in the energy field with these subjects as well. So because of that, I was just wanted to mention in the last thing that bioenergy is also really low here in Ecuador, related with biogas production and this renewable energy. So I will try to do something about probably some projects in the future in order to increase the amount of energy that we can produce using these resources available that we have. So thank you very much, and sorry for the length. I think it's quite really long, this presentation.
No, it's okay, Marcelo. Thank you so much. It is long, but I think quite interesting and complete in terms of presentation. So first of all, very nice for the landscape of the country. So Galapagos, I heard the name of this island, I think when I was 4, 5, or 6 years old, because the world-class documentary in Thailand, they repeat many times every Saturday or Sunday morning. So I remember the name of Galapagos quite well. And when we study biology again, I think absolutely we have to learn, we have to study about the theory that related to Galapagos, Charles Darwin. Very nice. Yeah. By the way, then talking about in terms of energy, so also interesting because you said that rely on or depend on hydro and petroleum, especially 70–80%. Someone may call insecurity because we don't know when something happened about the resources, or the price change. Then it might be not good for the country. But I see that the country try to diversify to some renewable energy, but then there's some book talking about dilemma. You see, you try to diversify, but then you face with the cost, the investment of the renewable energy, which is a bit higher than conventional or fossil fuel. By the way, your background is very interesting, mechanical engineer, and you also have the master of mathematics, which I think, in my opinion, you are quite suitable to do the country modeling. It is the modeling to show the situation if there is some economic incentive for renewable investor. What will happen? How they jump into the market, and this is very easy to do. Not easy, but I mean very nice model. If you can do that, you can start by your own concept. Not bad. It's like you can forecast the future of the country. So if many inputs or parameters change, or including the incentive, then what will happen to the generation of the or production of the country? And interesting that you export also. So you export to your neighbor, right?
Which one do you say?
You are exporting because the energy is oversupply. So you produce more than you consume. So you export, right?
Yes, actually we export a lot of petroleum. Probably that is the main economic activity now in Ecuador. Just exporting petroleum and buying some fuels from other countries, like Venezuela, for example. We used to buy some fuels from them because they transform the oil in these kind of fuels that we are not able to do it to cover the demand of the country. And I think that is something really bad for the country, because we just sell the petroleum really in really low cost compared to the fuels that we buy. So you know, it's not good. We probably need to work on that as well, but as long as this kind of energy is not for all the time, we probably have at least based of some projections from the government. They said probably we will have oil for the next 20 years. And after that, we are not able to have this resource available. So we need to change the way that we produce energy, and also the way that we are going to have in the future to use this energy. So we need to think now.
Okay. And any questions or comments or comparison from other participants? Would you like to share something, please? Someone? Yes or no? No? Okay, if no, thank you so much, Marcelo. Thank you. Just say thank you to Marcelo, no? From Melissa. Yeah.
Thank
I think
you as well.
Nice. You see, your country is one of my destination in the future to travel with no COVID-19.
Yeah. If you come, just let me know. I will show you around.
But how long from now on? Maybe more than 3 years. I don't know. That's a joke. Okay. Next one, please. We supposed to have next country report from Mohammed Said. I'm looking around. Are you in the system? No, Mohammed Said. So not in the system. Morsi, Hosni, Ali, Abu Bik. Yes or no? No. The last one, Metseret Melkamu Kiobesa. Yes or no? No. Maybe we have only one country report. You see, everyone say, Amante say also, we would like to visit Ecuador. So we gotta have only one country report. Then we have time, I think, to talk more around 20-25 minutes. So in South America, so right, Marcelo, you are in that area. How about when you compare to your neighbor? I mean, the resource that you use for energy production, more or less the same, petroleum.
Yeah, I think most of the countries here in South America, we have petroleum for now. And but probably the countries more in the south, they are not able to use this energy. For example, Argentina or Chile or Uruguay and Paraguay as well. These countries, they don't have a lot of petroleum, so they use another energy, or they buy energy also from us. They buy probably you know that Venezuela is the biggest country here in South America, and probably in all
Yeah.
around the world that produce oil. So they used to buy this oil to Venezuela, but now I know they are using a lot of bioenergies from crops, for example, from soya, or from example from other kind of crops. So that is my knowledge. I'm not that is not my area of expertise actually. In order to know what are the main primary energy production from other countries, but I think they are not able to have this oil on their countries.
So Marcelo, you are lecturer in university, right?
Yeah, I'm lecturing in the undergrad university. I'm lecturing just for now undergrad students.
So bachelor degree.
Yes, bachelor degree.
Are you planning to study PhD?
Yeah. I actually I really wanted. I did some applications, but my previous studies, my master's degree, I did with a scholarship from the government, and now it's something political. I really don't like to talk about the politics here in my country, but now the government is not giving any scholarship for PhD students, so I need to apply just for a scholarship from the universities, and it's been a little bit complicated, even for this COVID situation as well.
I can understand you. I think in many countries now, like my neighbor also, my neighbor country in Malaysia. So previously they put or they give a lot of scholarship, but now they, because of the COVID situation, then the scholarship is also changed in terms of granting or research grants also, not only the scholarship. By the way, if you don't mind, I invite you to study in PSU. You don't have to pay for the tuition fee. So this is free of charge. Again, propaganda or promoting. And
yeah, sure. But probably I will need just you can also give me an idea of how much do I need to study, or at least for
no,
around.
we can make it online because since the COVID situation, PSU had announced 100% online course. That means you can stay there in Ecuador, and
Great.
yes, and you don't have to pay the tuition fee. This is the waiving from university, and you can start when we finish this training. If you apply, the next semester will start around August, September, October, maybe October, November, something like that. So we have time. And in the first semester, you have to do the qualifying examination. That means you just prepare the literature review report and present online to the committee here. And then that's all. And the next semester, you have to draft your proposal. And the third semester, you just submit one article, a research article, to some international journal. And also for the semester after that, like this again, because you need 2 publications in ISI or Elsevier journal, or let's say in Web of Science journal. the last semester, the fifth semester, then you just defend your thesis. That's all, 5 semesters for PhD. If you follow this track, only 2.5 years. But if you make it longer than this, but I don't support, how to say, I don't want the student to stay longer in education life. I think you have many things to do, and you have very nice background, in my opinion. You know math, you know statistics, and you know something about mechanical. Then you know the term of energy quite well. So I have my background is also mechanical engineer, so same as you. That is why. And you see, there is some research question I give you. For example, if someone
Okay.
asks you, if the government pay like $1 per kilowatt hour or per unit of the electricity for the investor who can produce it from solar, and also pay the same amount, $1 per unit of the electricity or per kilowatt hour to the wind energy or wind energy investor, what will happen to your country? So this is very nice research question. Someone say solar will come first. Someone may say wind will come first. Someone say nothing happened. But to prove it, I have some idea to help you. This is like something energy policy, which is good for your background and for your country a lot, I think, in my opinion. By the way, just an idea. Even you don't study here, I'm okay also to help you to think about that. That's it, because I have that experience. I've been working for the Ministry of Energy in Thailand. In that time, let's say last 15 years, Denmark, Danset, or someone know in the name now, Danida. It is an international organization from Denmark. So they give some financial support to Thailand to study about the research question that I talk, that I give example to you that. So we supposed to have at that time some model that we can add the feed-in tariff to various type of renewable energy to see the response. Then if you know the mechanism or the response, so it will help you to forecast the country, to also tune the country. What should it be in the future if you have only this amount of money, and where should you put this money into first priority? So this is some idea, but not so bad to talk to you. Any participants, or also Marcelo, would you like to share something?
Yeah. Actually, I
Sir,
was. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me.
Julie, are you going to talk?
sir, how about other field? We can avail also your program.
Yeah, actually, in this program, in the faculty, you see the name is Faculty of Environmental Management, but we recruit all discipline that you graduate. That means social science can study here as well. Then your topic will be social science. When or your background is engineer, then you can choose the part of engineer. But you see, because of the COVID situation, if you have some if your research have some laboratory work, then and you have your laboratory in your country, so we can control the quality from here to talk about the parameter for you to do it. But if your work is like a life cycle assessment, so very easy that you use the computer software to do the research, or if you do the modeling that I mentioned, it is also in computer. Either you buy like a Leap program, or you develop your own linkage or mechanism in the Microsoft Excel. It can as well, because in Thailand at that time we use Microsoft Excel. We don't buy the software, because you see, when you buy some software, it's like there are black box for you. There are mechanism inside. You just give the input data, they give you the result. You don't understand the mechanism inside. But if you develop by yourself, not so difficult, but you understand it all and you know what will happen. So for the question from Julie, not only the topic of energy or environment, actually, you see, because of the term environment cover all for our faculty. Energy can be a part of environment. marine coastal, ecotourism, or sustainable energy management, or some engineering, or renewable energy, energy conservation. I don't know. Julie, what is your interesting?
Sir, I am very interested in enrolling environmental education or something about sustainable energy development.
Great. You see, you know that you are talking about, in my opinion, you are talking about the hardest or the most difficult topic in the world. My point is, in terms of education, you cannot make it in short time to increase the awareness for the new generation, to understand what happened to our world, to understand sustainable energy management. You see, there are many mechanisms inside that change all the time. I give you the example of municipal solid waste management. We heard about this problem many times. Many times we talk about Japan. We talk about some country that they have very good or best practice. But when back to the country, our country, how can we have that? You cannot use the education to increase the awareness in the short term. And when you focus to some topic, Julie, if you are expert in some, how to say, focus point, because education is too broad. Education plus environment is still be broad. You have to focus to like a solid waste, air pollution, or wastewater, or something else to focus to scope down. It will help you to focus to study easily in terms of PhD. And also next semester we have only 100 tuition fee waive waiting for you, and from Nigeria now almost 50, from Nepal around 20 already they apply, if not wrong, but we still have. If you are interested, you can email me and talk to me again. Okay, Marcelo, I think you are going to talk something. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was actually really curious about all that you have mentioned about this, probably this PhD program. So I probably would like to have more info. So can I contact you or someone
Please,
else?
you can contact me directly. Then I will talk to you about that. Julie also, or some other staff here, or sorry, or some other participants, not just only from lecturer, from any. If you prefer to study master or PhD, I can help you to do that. In pandemic or COVID situation, I think online course is very important. But you see, even it is online, we do the online only the approach. But the way we go into your thesis, you still need advisor, co-advisor, and the graduate school here will give you not so much money, but 50,000 baht for PhD to do your thesis. We can transfer to you, to the student. For that, we support you to go some conference, even the online conference at this moment. We try to, how to say, polish you to learn more, to study more. So this is basically the starting idea about that. By the way, you can email me directly. I hope you get my email from
Sir,
yeah.
sir, can we have your email address in the chat box?
Sure, I'm doing it now.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I use actually.
Because I am interested in solid waste management program, sir, because most of my research focus more on environmental awareness about solid waste management program, because Philippines is prone in flood, for example, and then our major problem also here, especially in big cities, are the solid waste management program.
Well, so we still have time. So maybe the municipal solid waste is very interesting concept. I can share you something. You see, when you talk about the awareness, it is the starting of everything, and let's say the key factors to success in manage the solid waste in the country. First thing, we have to talk about the upstream, or let's say that you have to reduce from the household. You see, you yourself, you don't like that garbage, that rubbish, that waste, but you throw it into the bin and you wait for the municipal authority to take it from your house. So you see, this is wrong. This is the wrong concept at the beginning. So you have to try to reduce the waste from household, from your house at the beginning. So how to, you see, if in Asia more or less the same, and I think also in your country, kitchen waste or organic waste, normally 50%, if you check, almost 50% or more than in some country. If you can separate it from the bin, from the bin that the municipality will take it from your house, so you reduce the total waste of that community 50%. And the better thing is the food waste or the kitchen waste, when you mix it with some other waste, you are devalue or you reduce the value of other type of waste. For example, paper. When it is wet, you cannot use it or recycle it easily. That is why if you reduce the kitchen waste, organic waste from your house, 50% reduce. Second thing, recyclable part. You see, this recyclable part is 25%. The can, plastic, oh sorry, not the can, PET or PET, polyethylene, plastic bottle, what else? Paper, metal, or everything that you can sell it to the recycling shop. So if you collect it seriously, you reduce again 25%. You see, kitchen waste 50, recyclable 25, totally 75% that you remove from the bin. And what is left 25%? The last one is the single-use plastic. This is the most difficult part. By the way, the central system of the community or the province or the district can help you, because they need also the plastic, either to change it to waste to energy or whatever. They can do it, they can manage with it again. But you see, we fail at the beginning that we cannot reduce 75%. Okay, beginning is reduce at source at the beginning. Second thing, collection system. So the government or the municipal authority has to serious about the collection, how to collect it, how to separate it. So this is the second thing, or let's say in the middle of the process. And the last one is the downstream, to dispose or to treat it. Okay, sorry, I go back to the first 50%. When you separate the waste already, kitchen waste, you have to do the home compost to develop the fertilizer for your garden, for your tree by yourself. It is a must to do that. Okay, at the beginning, home compost 50%, 25% recyclable, and then the last one, the last part is the single-use plastic, 75%. There are many technologies that can change the single-use plastic to become pellet of the plastic, or they can change it also to diesel again. There are some technology to do that. So this is the whole chain, you see. But when we talk so easy, but in reality, very difficult to encourage people, especially the part of Julie, to use the education to educate people to do that. It is not so easy, because people normally choose the easier way to do that, instead of separate chicken bone to somewhere, so they put together easily. So this is very difficult. And
Yes, sir. You are very correct, sir.
yeah, You see, maybe you can check even in your, if you you are staff in university, you can check even the lecturer in your university. If you have 100%, how many of them separate the kitchen waste and do the home compost? So this is the indicator at the beginning that even we are educated, we have very high educated, someone is a PhD, someone is doctor in environment, but when you see go back to the home, to their house, they don't do it. So this is the most difficult. But if Julie, you can arrange or design some review first and design some mechanism to encourage them. So this is good. I have one student, they interview many family or household, and we found that they don't separate the chicken bone or kitchen waste. You know what is the reason? Because there is no bin close to your sink to wash during you washing the dish. Only that, but they don't provide themselves the bin beside that, because you feel that if there's a bin of the kitchen waste, so it will be very stink and dangerous, or not, so not dangerous, but you see how to say, it will be the center for the rat, for the cat, for the cockroach. You see, actually there are some technology or some concept can solve that, but when they don't have idea or without the education of something, then they don't do it. And it is proof already. If some house has it, you do it absolutely, because when you stand, you wash your dish and then you just open that and then do it. And you see, you have to open that bin with the food only. So the research show that you have to use, you see the bin that the flap open when you place by your foot. So, and then you have 2 hands to do that. So something is easy, but they don't do it, or we don't know it. Or there are many research about this, but you can do it. You see, factors to be success is the upstream, collecting, and also disposal or treatment, but not yet only that, not complete. You see, one more is to success, the whole community have to do it. If you do only in your house, your neighbor, they don't do it, will not be complete. Will not be success. Because in the future, there will be some problem of the, how to say, not the whole community do the same system. Then there might be a problem. And factors from social science, when you're talking about community, the leader of community has to do it. The leader has to encourage the team in the community to do it. You see, there are 2 factors now. If the community do it and very serious about it, but team member not serious to do it, fail. Or team member is very serious, but the leader not serious, the community fail. Only team leader and team member, they do it all, then you are success. And not yet finished. One more factor is what? Continue the continuity or the continuous of the activity that you do. If the community do it very good at the beginning, reduce, collecting, dispose, and team leader is very good. But when the time change, because the problem of the waste is dynamic. The position of the waste change all the time. And if you don't learn, the community, you don't know how to manage it. You use the same disposal system, maybe it cannot accommodate or it cannot be fitted with the waste of the community again. So you see, upstream, middle way, downstream, community factors, and continuous of the doing this one. We have many cases in Thailand. You see, it is very interesting. I visit that community. They show me the case a lot, very nice best practice. After that 3 years, the new generation select mobile phone and ignore about the waste management to collapse again. So this is just some idea. Okay.
Yes, sir. And the worst scenario, sir, is there are tons of imported garbage coming from other countries, and they sent us in our country.
Yeah, same. Especially you see, if it is hazardous waste or some acid or some in the container, we have the case that case also in Thailand. Sometimes from some country they ship that kind of waste, hazardous waste, to Thailand, and it is long time ago at the port when the system checked, we found that who is the owner. Then suddenly it is already the problem for the country. So both municipal solid waste and hazardous waste, and we have some research talk about hazardous waste. You see the dry batteries. We interview many district, let's say the people in district, and we found people think that we make option for them to bring the dry battery, the used dry battery back to the central or to the system. What they want from to do it, or how can we encourage them to do it. We have the option, you see, if you bring the dye battery back to us, we give you some egg, we give you some instant noodle, we give you some money, or what you need. They may need only the central system that close to them. When I ask this question, I teach in Austria last 5 years. I asked the question to people in Austria. They thought the answer is what? They said, oh, if you give the money, you will get that. But it is wrong. And we found to that what they need only some small bin, which is for use dry battery only, and not so far from the house. You see, they say only 5 houses from my house only. If they have to walk longer, or how to say further than 5 houses, they will not do it. Then people think that most of the convenience store in Thailand, like I think I can mention 7-Eleven. There are a lot of 7-Eleven in Thailand, and most of the time, if the community or municipality try to use that convenience store to be the center for something, it seems nice, it sounds nice, but it doesn't work, because the research show that sometimes you don't collect something and go to 7-Eleven just to throw the used dye battery. But if you can walk to your neighbor 5 to 6 houses, you do it. So this is something which is interesting, and it can be a good point of view for someone who like to do the research about municipal solid waste. Municipal solid waste is also one of the problems that when you talk, it will be related to the global warming, climate change as well, because finally some methane from the landfill, or some when you do it, when you burn it, waste to energy, you produce energy. So there may become some combustion that there will be some emission also. So there, you see, everything is connected together. So okay, that's all from my point. Maybe today, as we have only one country report. By the way, you can share again, you can talk again. Someone would like to share something to me? Marcelo?
No, sir, just I wanted to also say that now you mentioned something related with municipal solid waste. I also had a little of experience about that and related of this topic in developing countries, you know, because everything is completely different from the developing countries compared with the developed countries. They manage this in a different way. Yeah, I have some knowledge about that also as well, and I know that it's a really complicated topic, and especially for us as developing countries.
Some practice in some country, it sounds nice, but you cannot use it for your country as well. I heard the case of, if I'm not wrong, in Finland, they try to develop the bin that connected directly to the incinerator. Like when you put the garbage in, there may be some suction system group, take it to the incinerator, the central or central incinerator of the municipality automatically. So it sounds nice, but I think it is costly as well. Maybe it's only for to encourage people to do that. I don't know. Maybe there may be some more detail that I have to study about that. Okay. Someone else would like to share? No. So if not, then you can take 2 hours after this to check. I mean, the record video from the morning and also in the afternoon. Then we meet you again tomorrow. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a nice day. Stay safe from COVID. Bye-bye.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you very much. See you.
Bye.
All right, have a good day, everybody.
Yeah. Bye-bye, Michael.